Welcome to week 6. Congratulations that you've really made it this far. I'm excited as usual that we are just moving along. This week we're going to be talking about fasting. Fasting is a subject that is common within the church but is also not common. Many Christians have never fasted, and many of the people that go through my classes have never fasted, and many of them get to fast for their first time during my course, during my spiritual formation course. And that has been a huge honor for me because I get to hold their hand and basically help them begin this spiritual discipline that many of them get to continue for a long time. Hey, let me tell you a little story. I had this assistant. Okay, she was my secretary, an Indian young woman called Purnima. Purnima is the sweetest woman that I've ever met. She's just an amazing woman. And we were working when she came. She had been a Christian, a Catholic Christian that was a convert from Hinduism because he was married to a Catholic man. Okay, so he was just sort of going there, and then he started working with me. He'd never fasted. In fact, Purnima loved food so much, she never thought she would fast. And she would be okay with me talking about this because she talks about it all the time. So this is totally something Purnima would share and has talked about it before. So Purnima loved food so much that when I just talked about food, a smile will come over her face. She loved food. I've never met a person who loved food that much. She'd never fasted before. And then, we talked about fasting. She was working, and a habit that I had in my office at a time, which is taught and encouraged to students in my courses, is that you stop and pray in the middle of the day. And so we would do that, and there would be days that I would fast. And she gradually began to fall in love with Jesus and just grow and grow. She wasn't the type that was spending much time praying besides the Catholic thing that you hold, how do they call it again, those braids that you hold, you use to pray with. She was doing that. I've forgotten what you call it. But she was doing that and not really into God that much. And then she started growing, and Purnima started fasting like crazy. Like, she would fast several days a week, fasting and praying, until she was having problems with her husband, who didn't like her fasting so much. Okay. So I say this story to say that I have seen some people who initially did not like fasting, and then I get to introduce them to the beauty of fasting and the spiritual benefits. There are both medical and spiritual benefits of fasting, okay? So I introduced her, and she just enjoyed the opportunity that gave her to connect with the spiritual world, to connect and just hear and sense the Holy Spirit more. When you fast, as you're going to be learning this week, you get to hear the Holy Spirit more. You're more sensitive. You're more attuned. Of course, your flesh is weakened so that your spirit rides. Your spirit wins over the battle between the flesh and the spirit. Okay, so fasting is really awesome. You will enjoy it. It is going to transform your spiritual walk. Don't be scared. I've also seen a few people who are very apprehensive initially about fasting, and then they get to fall in love with it. So I bet that if you're apprehensive about fasting, you've never fasted before, you're scared that you couldn't even miss a meal, that you might be just a kind of Purnima. And I could list many people like that. Stephanie came with some story a little similar. She started fasting the first time during this course, and I could list you so many people who've gotten to really just grow and love God and enjoy fasting. Right now, Stephanie and I and the rest of the team, we fast once a week on Thursdays, and they lead it and they enjoy it, and it is a privilege to fast. It is a sacrifice you put on the altar to just fast and praise and worship God. So that's what I'm introducing you to this week and encouraging you now. But if you are medically not well, if you have moral objections to fasting, well, you don't have to fast if you're not medically fit, and if you have serious moral objections to fasting. Even for the fasting assignment that we have an alternative for you. You'll write about fasting. instead of fasting for the assignment. So let's go to my screen and I'll show you what we'll be talking about this week. So you're looking at a tentative schedule right here as usual. And we are in week 6, fasting. You're going to be reading Foster chapter 4 and your personal guide to fasting and prayer by Bill Bright. Then you're going to be looking at spiritual exercise 6 and SOS journal for week 6, because this is an even number week 2, 4, 6, and 8. You'll do the SOS. So that's that on this level. Let's go back and look at things a little bit further. So we are back here in week 6. I encourage you to fill out this form. This is a fasting agreement. I learned this from a professor of mine in the past and I've used it since then. It is a very good tool, okay? I learned it from Elmer Towns, the co-founder of Liberty University. He used it and taught it, and I've used it I learned it from him several years ago and I've fallen in love with it. I don't fast without filling out this form, because you need to prepare and really know why you're fasting and what you're wanting to get accomplished with your fast, and write it down, write scriptures down, write what you're going to be eating, what you're not eating, if you'll be drinking, if you're not drinking, because some fast you might decide to fast partially and not a whole fast. But in this course, you're going to be fasting a whole fast that allows you to drink only water as the nutritious thing for 24 hours. So let's see, and let's look here. That's the journal for this, the SOS journal for this week. It's the same as for the other weeks. You just do it for this week. And then the spiritual exercise for this week is one that I think we should talk about for a second. Spiritual exercise for this week is 24-hour fast. If you are not medically well, or if you have strong moral reasons why you don't want to fast, then you'll do the alternative here. You'll write a 4-page paper on fasting in the Bible and submit it in place of fasting. But I encourage you, I beg you, if you are able to fast, if you are healthy, to get over your objections. This will be a blessing to you. Fast, 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 fast. Fasting will change your life. Fast. It's amazing what happens when a person fasts and prays to the Lord, okay? Fasting is that important. So fast, fast, fast. If this is your first time fast, if this is something you've done before, get into it again, okay? Well, that's it for this week. I pray that you continue to move forward, that you fast this week if you've never fasted before, that you just continue to learn and surrender. Surrender to the Holy Spirit. Let Him carry you, let Him teach you, let Him drive you, let Him lead you. This class provides opportunities that are awesome. It's practical and allows you to be able to just let the Holy Spirit lead you. The only thing that can stop that is if you resist, if you allow fear to be greater than the faith you have in God. I trust that you will not, and that you will continue to fast if you are able to fast, and that you would just continue to surrender and grow and let the Holy Spirit take you to another level. Good luck studying this week. As usual, we'll be praying for you that the Holy Spirit will guide you, that the Lord will give you an understanding of His will, that God will give you an understanding of Him. In your quiet times, you will experience God, that you will know Him, that you will be a friend of God like Abraham was, that you will truly encounter and experience God through your quiet times. Keep going. Even if you encounter difficulties, don't stop. Yes, don't stop. Weeping may tarry for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Keep going, and don't stop.